The students were contentedly completing their Write the Room activity as one student approached me. "Where is you?" she asked. "I is here," I responded. She scrunched up her face at me, refusing to giggle at my pun as my classroom assistant and I roared with laughter. Hi there, teachers. Marion Busfield here from Engaging Curiosity to empower you to take charge in the classroom by supporting you with classroom management strategies and resources. Today I'm discussing how to boost math differentiating with Christmas games and activities. I'm a faith-led, married, mother of two, grandmother to one, outdoor enthusiast, and retired teacher. My passion is to share what I know about teaching to support this wonderful new generation of teachers. In the links down below, you will find my free classroom management checklist. Download the checklist to check off what you have in place and to set some goals for what you see as your next need for your own classroom management. Thank you for joining me today, and please remember to press like and subscribe below. That is the best way you can help me to reach other teachers. So the whole class was upbeat when we used games, and we love differentiation with Christmas games and activities too. Let's start with why use games in the classroom in the first place. Differentiated math games are an effective tool for learning and reviewing concepts. They also support classroom community building and provide an opportunity for students to practice multiple social-emotional learning skills. So what's not to like? I have written several blog posts on differentiation in math, so I will not revisit those concepts in depth today. I'm going to stick with the topic of differentiation with Christmas games and activities. However, first I do want to define differentiation in math, which follows the same core principles as differentiation in the classroom. According to Carol Tomlinson, a leader in differentiation, there are 4 main pillars of differentiation: content, process, product, and learning environment. Games meet these criteria in multiple ways, so let's take a look. So content differentiation with Christmas games and activities for content is the same as at any other time of the year. Many games can become differentiated math games by allowing the students different dice to create differentiation of numbers. For example, allowing students to choose either a 6, 10, or 18-sided dice or even multiple dice will change the entry level for the game or activity. If you are warming up practicing math facts or math games, the content may be differentiated by having students playing the same games using different strategies, like these games here. Take 10 and add 10. Another way is to offer student worksheets with the games that they're playing. And for example, one of the differentiated math games that I have created the most of is a Write the Room game. There are different task cards with different games. Okay, so here we've got 2 unknown number cards using equations, the sum and difference spot unknown and the first add-in spot unknown. And you also have number bond task cards. Of course, with unknown number spots, there's 3 for equations and number bonds. They also come with 3 different levels of worksheets. So you've got your number bonds worksheet, you've got your equation bank worksheet, and your blank grid worksheet, and which is the more typical type of worksheet that you see with many. Additionally, each of these worksheets come with or without a number line to allow students who still need support with math fact automaticity and without for those who are ready to go it alone. So with Christmas games or activities, at least with my Christmas games, the same game but different strategies. Similar to the regular one you saw, these ones are seasonal. Okay, they also come with worksheets. You can have all your students skip counting, but by 2, 3, 5, or 10. I have Write the Room 2D and 3D shapes games, 1 task cards with and without the shape name, and worksheets, student worksheets with or without a word bank. And lastly, I have game cards, supportizing 10 frames of the numbers. They can mix and match according to their needs. So what about processing and learning styles? So for auditory learning, the social nature of games and card games and board games and the discussion it brings with it, this is sufficient processing adaptation for those students because they are sharing what they know alone if they're doing the speaking themselves. Kinesthetic and tactile learners are well supported with activities such as Write the Room because they do get students up and moving, which has a number of benefits. As students move, they drive more oxygen to the brain. The brain can function more effectively with increased oxygenation, which has a positive effect upon the student's cognitive development and comprehension skills. Movement while learning new materials stimulates areas of the brain that help kinesthetics learners comprehend and retain information more effectively. This impact can be enhanced if, while playing games, students have access to tools such as Rec and Recs or Cuisenaire rods. Also, when we think we need to change the level of challenge within the content, we may just need to adjust how the student is supported in applying the content. So hence the Rec and Recs and the Cuisenaire rods. Visual learners, many board games are automatically suited towards differentiated math games because visual learners benefit from the illustrated elements of the board and card games. The game provides them with the opportunity to watch their learning. As they see cards go down or game pieces be moved, they can connect to their learning. They can also connect the images they see to the words or concepts they are learning. So thinking of those game cards with 10 frames on them. Students can use their visual strengths when playing board games. They're able to analyze the situation, compare options, and determine a result. So as we discuss how to boost differentiating with math Christmas games and activities, just a reminder, use the link down below to download the free classroom management checklist. Identify your goals and then check them off step by step. So, depending upon the games, students may be able to visualize spatial relationships and compare options for movement of pieces using visual spatial memory. These opportunities often place children with these strengths at an advantage. So what about product differentiation with Christmas games and activities? Once again, I'm going to break this down by learning styles. So with auditory learners, as mentioned above, students who are auditory learners remember and understand new concepts better because they are shared out loud by their friends and by themselves. Interestingly, many math games are differentiated math games simply because while students playing the game, they are orally sharing their understanding of the content or strategy. That is product differentiation for auditory learners. Kinesthetic learners, something as simple as the movement involved in placing and moving card games, such as war or concentration, can be enough for how to differentiation in math through movement. However, one of the reasons that I am such a fan of Right the Room activities is that these activities are by their nature a differentiated math game because they provide the movement that allows kinesthetic students to process, and then they are more able to provide their understanding in a written format. Although the product itself is not demonstrated through movement, the movement supports the ability to provide the product of demonstration of understanding. So for visual learners under product, the ability to demonstrate their learning with worksheets make any game that includes worksheets a differentiated math game for visual learners. Well, almost any. Although I would never recommend a curriculum that is based upon worksheets, even really cute worksheets, written work really is math game differentiation for the visual learner. Finally, differentiation of the learning environment. Differentiation with Christmas games and activities in the learning environment. Well, there are so many variables to a learning environment. These are just a few that show how games impact the learning environment. It might be that the biggest impact of differentiated math games is quite possibly on the learning environment. And one of the biggest ways that games impact the learning environment is through social emotional learning. At the heart of SEL are 5 core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. These attributes work together to create cooperation between the students because to be successful in a game requires cooperation from the children. Through this cooperation, children learn to take other perspectives into account. As children learn to understand each other, their social interactions can gradually grow from being to becoming cooperative. Differentiation with Christmas games and activities is the same as implementing games and activities all year long. They contribute to changes in the learning environment in all of these ways, which make the classroom a safer place to learn. The learning environment is also impacted by group size or choice, and incorporating student interests is essential in the differentiated classroom. As we incorporate student interests through differentiation with Christmas games and activities, we create engagement and we show the students we see them. Kids love play, kids want to play, kids are meant to play. Play-based learning is social, fun, and it incorporates their interests, which impacts the learning environment. Gone are the days of rote learning. Games provide a context for engaging practice. I remember standing beside my desk to repeat the timetables out loud with my class every day until we had them. Games and activities create positive memories of and sentiments towards learning, which can carry over to other parts of classroom learning. But why differentiation with Christmas games and activities, or Valentine's or St. Patrick's, or any seasonal games and activities? Incorporating student interests is a part of differentiation, and differentiation with Christmas games and activities is tough to beat as far as incorporating their interests go. I mean, I love to dive full tilt into celebrating the season with my kiddos. However, the challenge of that is that it can also raise excitement and energy levels and lead students to become dysregulated. I use differentiated math games and activities all year round, and so my students have already developed an understanding of appropriate behavior by the time I pulled out my Christmas games and activities. By the time I was incorporating Christmas games and activities, they were well practiced and on task. I was able to engage students' interests in a way that met them where their hearts and minds were at. We didn't lose any learning time. The students were super engaged, so I avoided much of the dysregulated behavior. I was able to really stand back and enjoy that time with my students. Other influences that make differentiation with Christmas games and activities a fantastic idea would include things like the amount of time we have to teach is not enough time to teach all that is expected of us. Much as I love Christmas, I was not about to lose that time to cute but meaningless activities. In my school, there was a school-wide concert for parents and others from the community. Our music teacher taught each class their own songs for the concert, and then he also combined all the students for a few whole school songs. It was beautiful. This concert was the highlight of the season for many, and we practiced a lot. Oftentimes, the expectations was that we were not certain when our class would be called, but we had to be ready to leave at a moment's notice. Obviously, this meant that this was not an ideal time for lessons that I didn't want to have interrupted. We did not just do differentiated math games during these times, of course, but math, spelling, and writing games were a large part of what we did do during those times. They had been practicing skills when they were playing the game, regardless of whether or not they finished the game. So I wasn't concerned if they were in the middle of the game and could not get back to finish it. Dipping your toe into differentiation with Christmas games and activities. If you haven't been playing the differentiated math games in your classroom, it's not too late. You may not have been practicing self-regulation since day one, like we do in my class, but there is no time like the present. The Christmas season or winter season before the break is still such a time of excitement for the students. Regardless of their family and cultural beliefs and celebrations, our environment is saturated with Christmas. Games are a great way to use this time in a way that will support your classroom management. Include differentiation with Christmas games and activities, and your students will continue to learn and grow. If you have a favorite game or activity that you like to share with your class at Christmas, please share it in the comments below. Thank you for joining me today for this video on how to differentiate with Christmas games and activities, and I hope you join me again soon. Please press like, subscribe, and notify so I can help as many teachers as possible. Visit me at my blog at engagingcuriosity.ca and use the link below to download my free classroom management checklist. Thank you for joining me. Bye now.